And hello, my fellow nerds. This is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to Ducky. So last time we finally got the potion that made them all human-sized, and we're gonna be attending a jamboree next, as I checked. The tavern is now decorated in lights, filled with music in its walls, and guests crowding the door. I look at the girls, filing into the line. If I had a silver for every time someone snuck a glance at one of the three, I could retire in this life and the next. Of course, I understand it. I just wish some would be a little less lecherous about it. Hmm. Pay them no mind. We're used to this kind of attention back home. Reminds me, reminds me of butterfly wings, but the way their eyes are always follow you, it's super creepy. She doesn't sound all that freaked out about considering. Best to just ignore them. They can look as much as they want, but when they start touching, that's when I have a problem. That's not happening tonight, I assure you. Ducky touches my hand in a ghostly yet tender fashion, secretively giving me reassurance. We'll be fine. We're supposed to be having fun. Let's just focus on that. Of course. Eventually, we reach the door. The brawny man posted there. You got a ticket inside? I'm a friend of Therian's, he said. My friends and I could come for free. What a load of... Garrett! Riker, let him through, will ya? Riker rolls his eyes, turning to let through. I see why you need an extra security detail. It's a small town. Usually not too much trouble. Riker can handle it from the outside and help inside once everyone's through. But this is why he can stand post outside while you keep an eye inside. I can do that. Oh, I'd rather you enjoy your time. Then he catches a glimpse of them. Don't tell me. They're all of them, they're huge. Now, you know better than to refer to a woman like that. Mind your manners. You know what I meant. Well, if I hadn't seen them the size of pints before, I'd hardly believe it. That Bradamar is quite the character, but he was who he said he was. Thank you for your help with that, by the way. My pleasure. Like the men outside, Therian himself can't stop but ogle at them as well. Say, you think one of them would dance with me if I asked, do you? Can't hurt to ask. Just the beauty in blue, Ducky. They came here with me, understand? Oh yes, of course. Of course. I could decide between the purple or the pink one. I lodge an elbow right into the rib cage, making a satisfying oops sound. Those are my friends now. Be polite. If I hear you did anything unsavory, I'll throw you out even of your own place. Even if you own the place. Garrett, please, you know me. A perfect gentleman I am. We used to talk about this stuff. We talk about women like this all the time. We're not fresh-faced youths anymore. Have you seen a mirror recently? Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I guess this is why you were the only one who ever really had any luck with the dames. Dupes like you make it all too easy for someone as mediocre as me. You make me look like a knight in shining armor by comparison. Easy on me now. So, Ducky, are they someone special? Are you two planning to settle down, or? It's a little early for that. We haven't so much as had a picnic together. But yeah, I'm sweet on her. I see. You'll have to tell me sometime how you came into the company of so many fairies, as well as your trip with Bradamar. Oh, all in due time, friend. When I've dropped Ducky off in Sparris, I'll be sure to come back and tell you all about it. He gives me a questioning look. I forgo the conversation to do what I came here to do. Unwind. The music picks right up as I approach the girls, who already sat at a table with more drinks than they know what to do with. Garrett, look! Mead! You got yourself an entire distillery here. Some sad saps offered to buy us drinks, and then another group, and another. They're practically giving it away. Drink up! You sure you guys can handle this much? Oh no, definitely not. We learned our lesson from last time. We saved some for you. Pick up one of the tankers, raising it in thanks before chugging it. Some of the foamy liquid drips down my neck and down to my shirt. I drop it down with a thud, sighing and waving my mouth with my forearm. Now that hit the spot. Needy pushes another one in my direction. This takes me back. The Dreadguard loves a drinking contest. I used to be able to drink men twice my age under the table. I think I know why. Why now? I'm already feeling a little lightheaded. I appreciate the offer, but I need to be at my best tonight. Ducky pulls back at the tanker Needy pushed my way. Our eyes meet, and it's like I guzzled another. Be your best for hired muscle work. Right. Who's up for a dance? Ducky? Thanks for asking us. Hey, a friend of mine, Therian, he wanted to ask one of you two. Violet visibly cringes. I was kidding. Ooh, I want to dance. Where's your friend? I point in the direction of Therian, who stands pointing at his chest, dumbfounded. As if he didn't say he wanted to dance with one of them. Needy nearly spills all the drinks on the table as she climbs out of her seat and out onto the floor. Ducky takes my hand. I spare a glance at Violet. Can I take you for a spin afterwards? No, don't worry about it. I'm happy just where I am. If you say so. Don't flatter yourself. You'll step all over my feet. Be careful, Duck. We look down between us at Ducky's bare feet. Should have gotten you some. I don't really like shoes. I'm more worried about you stepping on some broken glass or a nail or something. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Remember, focus on having fun. Easy to say. The only reason you three can relax is that I'm here. If I let my guard down, well, it'll get ugly. Can you dance? I take her hand, my other at her waist, right near the dip of their back, familiarizing my fingers over their curves, which my insides do a dance before I could. Of course I can. Sure, it's been many a decade since, but it's like riding a chariot. You never forget. Ducky begins to move in step, looking up to me inquisitively. What's a chariot? Oh, there's so much you'll have to see. Though I don't think a coliseum would be the first thing. There's plenty of places I could take you. Her eyes light up. You thought about that? I did. When you show someone something for the first time, it's like experiencing it for the first time yourself. Tell me about every little thing then. Will do. The song shifts something a little slower, unlike the song before, is accompanied by a singer. A young maiden stands on stage in the back of the place. Her voice is beautiful. I pull Ducky to me, swaying to the easy melody. The lyrics are romantic, and it's impossible not to think of our kiss now. Have you told the girls yet about us? Do you want me to? If you're comfortable. I don't mind keeping what we have between us. You don't have to hide it. The only way I can hold you like this, if they knew, I could kiss you right now. Ducky looks down at her bare feet shyly. They aren't dumb. They'd pick up on it eventually. Even if we didn't show physical affection, I can't stop looking at you. Hey now, that was my line. We continue to dance, enjoying what has been made possible against all odds. We cast a look at the others, wondering if they're watching us as they speak. Needy is dancing though for Therian rather than with him. Is she trying to challenge him to a dance-off? Therian looks so hopelessly confused as he attempts to match her energy. We burst into a fit of laughter. Checking on Violet, we're surprised to see another person file into our booth. A young woman, a waitress, I believe, sat talking to Violet, who is more red than she is purple at this point. Ask her to dance, V. We might need to help her. Oh no, she's too stubborn. She'll flee if we engage. We have to let her handle this on her own. Another song from the same singer as before plays. It brings us back. The soft strum of the lute strings fills my chest with a pleasant rush, so pleasant it could bring tears to my eyes. One more dance? As many as you like. I haven't quite got my fill of you. Will you ever? Dip them, spin them. I mean, come on. Honestly, when it comes to personally, when it comes to me dancing with someone, I cannot help but do at least one dip. Instead of answering, I dip them, admiring the view for a moment, careful not to drop her. A little difficult with her shaking from laughter, a delightful sound. I lift them to me, as gently as I can manage. Garrett, they say breathlessly. They're not looking. I reach for her chin, drawing them to my lips in one smooth motion. The kiss is much more experienced than the first one from before. From before. I can't read today apparently. She grips my shirt for dear life. My hands wander little to her bum, seizing a chance I didn't get before. They giggle in approval against my lips. I can practically hear them teasing me for it. Warmth spreads all through me, my heart thudding, my stomach a cluster of nerves. When I pull back just a little to check their expression, their eyes are still closed for a moment before peeling them open. Then I see it. They're quite fervent. Fight every urge that grows not to fall back into my old ways and disappear somewhere with them. You can't look at me like that. How come? They seem to know exactly why. If you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna forget how to behave. Their thumb brushes against my bottom lip. She giggles, wiping at it. What? I ask, laughter in my throat. You got some fairy dust on you. Leave it. It's like you. It's like you're leaving your mark on me. Dirty old man. Don't you mean dusty? Shut up. It's a weak attempt. I trace the strand of her hair behind her ear. There's no one like you, Duck. No one. Thank you, Garrett. The song eventually shifts into something more light, something to liven the pace. Something that those who were sitting before now rush to the main floor. We take a page out of Needy's book and decide to show off all our best moves. Halfway through, the entire place breaks into a coordinated dance, a line dance. Ducky, of course, doesn't know the steps, but with my guidance, we move through them with ease. She picks up on them quickly. the, the only rule was to have fun anyhow. We even spot Violet fumbling through the steps with the waitress from before. Poor thing, all the blood has gone to her face, leaving her numb-footed. Though I suspect she was never quite the dancer to begin with. Oh, the achievement, sweetest summer. Aww. I was skeptical of going to the jamboree to begin with, but it was the perfect send-off before we continue on our way. It was a night none of us were sure to ever forget. The sound of fiddles, stomping, and claps resounded through my mind as I lay to rest that night, dreaming of Ducky. Oh, we're in Ducky's POV now. Every night for the last 2 months or so, I've found myself in the same situation, sneaking out of my tent, nearly tripping over myself, not to wake Violet or Needy. These are one of the only times which I missed my fairy body. Greeted by the moon, I managed to break away. Thankfully for me, those two had always been heavy sleepers. Our bonfire is nothing but a dim embers clinging to life, nestled at the bottom of the pit. I'm no stranger for the forest sounds. It feels like being home if I close my eyes and imagine. There were little creeks we'd pass by, each one reminding me of when my father would take me out to the water to practice my water steps. I remember how excited I'd get when he'd grab my hands, and we could eventually dance, not fighting not to sink, but still enjoying what we did. He never scolded. Then we'd eat food Mother had prepared for us. How I'd pack up what was left, and she'd pat my head when every dish came back. I attempted not to blink as I breathed deeply. What's gotten me so worked up? I'd gone this long without feeling a tinge of homesickness, but every now and again it sticks in my throat when I'm forced to swallow it down. It's to be expected. It's all I've ever known. Wish my parents, or rather my mother, hadn't tried to fight me so much. We could have at least separated on good terms. Doesn't matter. Closing in on Garrett's tent, I peered into the bucket beside it to check my teeth and hair. I find myself doing that a lot now. It never mattered. It never mattered before, but now, too much does. Pulling back the curtain, I spot him rolled to his side. Are you asleep? Was my whisper, and he beckons me to him before answering. I take a seat beside him instead of lying down like I usually do. Is something the matter? His voice comes his gravelly voice. It adds another needle to my throat. I should be fine. He traces the hand from my shoulder down my arm in soothing strokes. I can't tell where the bumps along my skin come from, the newly autumn chill, his hand, or my nerves. Do you want to talk about it? Not especially. I'm just having a moment of weakness. That's all right. I can tell you're getting frustrated with yourself. If you need to cry, there's no shame in that. Tell you what, I'll do it with you. That, that forces a laughter through my chest, and I shake my head stubbornly. It helps me breathe a little easier. I guess I'm a little homesick. That doesn't mean I want to go back, however. I know you don't. Don't worry. It's surprising you haven't felt this earlier. You never left Willow Post, right? Right. Well, what can we do to make it feel more like home? I think that's a problem. This place feels too much like home. Should we leave now? He's joking, but I have a feeling that if I insisted, we could leave now. I don't want to think of home. I want to think of my new home. Want me to take your mind off it? He asks, hand already cupping my cheek, disappearing into my hair. I can only look at him, that smirk present in his eyes and lips, before I bring mine to his, finding comfort there among other things. I'm sure to break the kiss, lest we get carried away. Sorry, it took me so long to get here. I had to wait longer than usual for those two to go to sleep. If you don't mind me asking, why is it necessary we keep sneaking around? Less complicated. Is it? I think we're bound to run out of excuses, and it's only a matter of time before you oversleep in my tent. They're going to find out eventually. At least Violet will. Needy, we might be able to convince her if we've been late night baking in here. I shake a little with suppressed laughter. Of course, they're your friends, and if you don't feel comfortable, I won't force you. I just want to be able to do this. He kisses my shoulder now. Or this? He punctuates, drawing my curtain of hair, placing a peck on my neck, which leaves me feeling tingly. Or this? He places a kiss lower to the side of my breast. You couldn't do any of that if they knew or not. I say, pushing him away with very little force. He flops onto his back, grinning red ear to even redder ear. It's complicated. I like sneaking around. Ooh. Like, honestly, I can't really say much because I've never really been in Ducky's position before. Because I've never really had any sort of like... Well, I've had relationships, yes, but I've never had anything that's complicated like this. Like at all. Not really sure what to choose here. I guess we'd say it's complicated. It's, as I said before, they just make it complicated. There'd be a new pressure that doesn't exist now. Questions I can't answer. You don't ask questions. You don't expect things from me. He looks at me fondly, nodding along. I wish I could peek into his mind then. I lay on my side to face him. I like what we have. I don't want any expectations. Me neither. But if I can say so, I think what we have is the sort of thing that can't be properly hidden. He grasped my hand, which I had laid on my side, kissing the knuckles with closed eyes. If they did find out, I'd have to tell them everything. You can. Are you not worried that I would say something bad? What wrongs have I done? Men in Willow Post I'd gone steady with were never all that fond of what I told the girls, especially Violet. Well, I couldn't recall. Sure, there was that one argument we had, but it was a fleeting thing, not too dissimilar to the ones I had with the girls. Personally, I look forward to you speaking about us. You do? Who doesn't love receiving praise? And you're certain it's all praise? You don't strike me as the type of person who'd stomach me for months if I were only a subpar lover. Lover? I intend to discuss more than just our sleepovers. Of course. That's only one part of being a lover. It starts outside of the bedroll. He leaves me speechless at every response. I don't like keeping you a secret. I'm not ashamed of you. Glorious day. I pick up a pillow and pretend to smother him with it. You know what it is, I mean. You always insist on riling me up. Guilty as charged, dearest. Why? You're cute that way. Aren't I always cute? Ugh, God. Honestly, I'm being honestly, y'all. Going back and forth between their voices is just, ugh. It's so, it kind of strains my throat a little bit, but I'm trying my best. He hesitates purposefully, and if a smile on his face. I reach down to tickle him, and he jerks away with laughter. I surrender, please. Anything but that, Duck. We sit in silence for a moment, and all my thoughts settle. Maybe I should tell them. What's the worst that could come from it? Endless teasing. I get that already, from you and them. There's no harm in it. There's no harm in it. You're not at fault. But you don't think they'll be upset with you for hiding it for nearly a whole season, will they? Even if they are, I wasn't ready to discuss it. 'Tis my right, no? It is. Go at your own pace. He pulls me into a hug, inhaling me through my hair and neck. Feeling his strong arms around me, pressed up against his muscular abdomen, it leaves me feeling golden. You could say they have a golden bond. Okay, very few of you will actually get that joke, but trust me, it works as a joke. I lay breathing deeply as he massages my back. Predictably, his hand wanders to my rear, giving it a little squeeze before focusing on my muscles again. My eyes begin to feel heavy in his grasp. Sleep here tonight. Let me wake up to you. As if I need more convincing than that, he places a kiss on my forehead to seal the deal, almost pleading with me not to go. Nothing could make me, so I don't. What feels like a moment later, I am awake. Only it's bright now, the sun's rays searing it into the skin on my calves. I blink slowly, trying to gather my senses and thoughts. I look over and see a note, Garrett's handwriting. Left to hunt some food for us. I'll be back as soon as I can, my dear Duck. I chuckle. It would be nothing but for a wind to pick this up and deliver it to the eyes of the girls. In a few moments, it won't matter. I already hear them chatting away just outside the tent. I take a deep breath, step outside. Without so much as looking, I can feel my hair is a mess atop my head. Morning. There's a moment of silence as they look at me, Garrett's tent, and off into the distance. Did Garrett need something? Got lost when you peed? My lips purse, eyes squinting as I shake my head once. What are you saying? I came from his tent. I slept there last night. I confessed, but the look they each gave each other is more confused than surprised. What's the matter? We weren't expecting you to just come right out and say it. We were trying to give you an out. An out? Well, you haven't been forthcoming with it for months now. I figured you wanted to keep it a secret. But you two already knew. Needy nods, breathing out a soft laugh. How long? Look, I know you, and I know us. We can be a little flighty, sure, but we'd have to be blind, deaf, and dumb not to notice. We've known since the jamboree. You guys totally kissed. I thought we'd done it when no one was looking. Perhaps it went on longer than either of us planned. It wasn't a peck. I covered my face in my hands, and seconds later, the two surround me in a hug. One strokes my hair. There. You weren't ready, clearly, so we didn't want to push. I'm an idiot. So are we, don't worry. We're not as big of idiots as you think. Okay, maybe a little, sometimes. I'm sorry, you both have always been better than the other fairies, other people than me. It's all right. I'm just glad we don't have to keep pretending. It was getting old. I'm awake from the hug, taking a seat but on the logs by the fire. You guys are so cute. I feel my body go completely red. Oh man, you like him that much. I look at her incredulously. I suppose it has been months. Have you seen him? Have you seen him, Vi? Yeah, looks like a human man to me. I shake my head, not at all. Appearance aside, he's not like any man of any species. There's so much you've got to tell us. I don't know where to start. The beginning usually works. I explain the events, how things changed from Willow Post to her kiss outside of Bradamar's house. What then? I didn't anticipate Violet to be all that invested. There were a handful of things that had transpired since the jamboree. I considered noteworthy the rest. Well, that was for him and me. There's our first outing together, getting my inheritance appraised, and our night at the lake. First outing? No, or rather, he decided on a picnic. Without us? She shakes her head, good-naturedly scolding. It was no later than the following day that after the jamboree, when we'd made camp in a neighboring town. There were only a couple of hours of sunlight left, but Garrett had thought ahead, packing some more food from the bee's apple, some from the jamboree itself. Where were we doing during this? You both were worn out from traveling already. You should have seen how many breaks we took before we met with you at the bee's apple. I'm surprised you managed to get there before us. We took a ride with those men who brought us the mead. What? How am I now just hearing about this? That's so dangerous. Still beat you? I'm going to beat you right now. I half-heartedly threaten. Needy thinks better of it, cringing. Anyway. The morning after the jamboree, we were all a little sluggish, be it from the drinks, our throats from singing, and the ache in our feet from dancing. Garrett brought us all food. He never failed to make sure we were fed properly. We were properly fed, admittedly getting a little more difficult when we all became human. We grew, and so did our stomachs. But he never complained. He'd even give me a little extra. The girls hadn't noticed that. Nor the first of many notes, one folded under my glass of freshly squeezed apple juice. When I unfurled it, reading through the bleary eyes, it read, "I can't stop thinking of you." There's a resounding sound of adoration and cooing mixed with audible disgust from the form of gagging from the audience before I continue. The note was tucked into my dress, right between my breasts, holding it as close to my heart as possible. With every covert bump of her arms, every stolen glance, and call my name, I felt like we were still on the dance floor, anxious, eager, and finding our footing. As we got close closer to our campsite, he pulled me to the side, appearing as innocent as possible, like we were still just friends. But with every second that passed, I could no longer see anything we did as cordial. Everything meant something now. I've got a surprise for you. I couldn't conceal my grin. Another? He looked confused, so I pulled out the note, his eyes watching me, where I put it intensely. I I never tell I never tell him, but I was much too pleased when he looked, even more so when he pretended he wasn't. You've seen nothing yet, he told me. At that, my heart did a little twirl. I can hardly remember the rest of the trip as I resisted the urge to sprint to our campsite. Playing back every moment, no matter how small, it was exhilarating. Of course, what we have now is lovely, but it no longer feels breathtaking, no less no lesser, but different from how it began. It's comfortable now. All the while I attempted to be as collected as possible. It was no pride of mine that I was coming apart at every other word he said. He hadn't ever been so he hadn't ever been so scattered. I worried that I'd never be able to go back on how I was before. When the girls had their tent made, they'd passed out only minutes after their heads hit their pillows. I was in the middle of resting my feet, drinking the rest of our water skin, when Garrett waved me over. I tried and failed to act like I hadn't seen him with a basket in hand, disappearing into the woods. I pretended like I didn't feel that water was close by. Of course, Garrett wasn't foolish enough to camp somewhere else without a water source nearby. Although I was human-sized, I still felt like I could walk on air. As I made my way over to him, spying the blanket with a basket of food, I feigned some of my shock. Garrett, this is lovely. Suits you, doesn't it? There was a jest I knew he wanted to make, but thought better of it. I decided it more and more. I noticed it more and more. When we were friends, there wasn't much he wouldn't say, but now he seemed to think better of it all. As if we didn't want to risk tangling or breaking the invisible string between us now. He held out his hand for me to take, leading me to sit atop the blanket. I folded my hands into my lap, watching him as he brought out a bottle, as well as another water skin. What will you take? What's the bottle? Moonlit red. It's wine. The wine sounds nice. He gave me a charming smile, the sunlight, what was left of it, flittering through his hair. Taking my glass, he fills it, handing it to me before taking his own. We took sips. I found myself at a loss for words. Nothing should have changed, but it did. There were expectations now. I wanted to be complimented, sought after, kissed, but what did it all mean now? You're quiet. Is everything all right? Should I not have? It had been worse if he hadn't. I'm relieved that you didn't pretend nothing happened between us. Do you think I'd do that? Well, no, honestly. Be completely honest, no. I didn't intend to offend you. It was meant to be a joke. I believe you're a good man. If I didn't, we wouldn't be as close as we are. Thank you. I'll admit, it's been a long while since I've wanted to be with someone like this. How long? Over a decade by now. I'd given up the idea of being this close, choosing to focus on traveling for work. What changed? I suppose we'll go talk about the weather. I know I'm feeling a tinge of shame. This was only meant to be a casual affair, but I couldn't help thinking beyond that. Why you? Because the alternative was never being with you. You're a good friend, but I'm afraid that wasn't enough for a selfish man like me. I always longed for something like this between us. I just didn't think you capable, no, rather willing. I certainly willing. Yes, about that. It's clear we seek physical intimacy, but what if everything else? I don't think anything but the physical has changed between us. We've looked out for each other, cared. To me, there isn't much difference between the care present between friends and what we are. I admire the sentiment. It relieved me much of of building pressure. I suppose that I suppose I wasn't capable of putting a name to what we were just yet. Hold on, so you guys aren't lovers? I suppose we are. When's the wedding then? That's that is precisely why I'd rather not call us that. But you don't snog others. You share a tent. So do you guys. Ducky. What what about when you get your apartment? Isn't he moving in? We haven't discussed it. We, we've only got another week or so before we make it to Sparrows though. Do you want to hear the rest of the story or not? I feel the same. I care for you as a friend or more. It's as I said before, I want us for as long as it feels right. And what feels right? He rested a hand on mine. This? I nodded, then with another hand at my cheek. What of this? I giggled out a yes. He then stamped a kiss to my lips, a little sticky from the wine we had. What of that? Garrett, you're... I'm what? He hummed, and I couldn't bring myself to say anything. There were too many things to say. Garrett leaned into me, laying me onto my back. Are we? Only if you will it. If you don't, then we won't. If you prefer, we share a tent, or if you don't, it's for you to say. I'm at your command. Feeling a little more confident as I touched his face, and nearly losing all my newfound nerve, as he stared into my eyes for longer than I expected. You're unreal. You're not too bad yourself. A little heavy, though. He attempted to pull away, but I brought him back down to me with sharing a kiss, with the wind and the call of birds in my ear. Not much being eaten on, not much being eaten on this picnic. On the contrary, we shared a fit of unbridled laughter. You should feed me. He gave he gave me a look full of mischief, making me think he wouldn't, until he dangled a bundle of green grapes before my mouth. I lay I laid, pulling at one with my teeth, popping the fruit. Popping the fruit. Its sweet juice spilling down my tongue and throat. Okay, wait, wait. Were they? Oh, they are green grapes. Okay, I thought I misread that. Look, honestly, it's kind of weird. Green grapes are actually my favorite snack, like of all time. Like sure, I like a good banana or apple or maybe even an orange. Maybe even an orange. I don't really like oranges that much, like as like eating them plainly. But orange flavored things are okay with me. I I hella love green grapes. They're like my favorite type of like snack of all time. It's because whenever I went to school, I always have green grapes on me. I always had green grapes on me. It was like my favorite thing to eat. You're watching me. Apologies, I struggle not to. It's not a bad thing. I plucked one grape sitting up and pressing it to his lips. He accepted it as he chewed. I felt properly hungry sampling the foraged berries and nuts, along with some of the baked goods from the bee's apple. Thank you. This is lovely. It's the best I could do on such short notice. If afforded more time, I could have prepared something better. Like what? Couldn't hide the excitement in my voice. There's no shortage of things I'd like to do with you. Things you most likely haven't done, like horse riding or watching a concert. Have you done either of those? Of course, the answer was no. You just you enjoy just about everything, it seems. My shoulders rise and fall. I'm simple. I wouldn't say that. I desire simple things. Good weather, plenty of time to rest, time to spend with those I care for. a life of pleasure. Yes, it scares me though. What about that scares you? I thought I'd never leave Willow Post. What's wrong with that? I suppose I feared not knowing anything else. Perhaps it comes from a place of naivety that I seek more in a life full of everything I could ever need or want. But the thought of it, I, if I didn't try to leave, I never would, and would go to my deathbed regretting it. I don't know if I'm making sense. Something in your soul couldn't rest. Perhaps people like you and I can't be fully content with simple lives. At least you attempt to seek the truth within your soul. If you arrive in Sparus, and it's nothing like you wanted, you'll know. You can keep looking for the answer you seek. Is that why you continue to travel? It may be. Have you lived out your dream? In a way, I grew up lucky to feed myself from one day to the next. If I woke up breathing, I consider that a wish fulfilled. I take pleasure as it comes, and I don't fret when it goes. In my life, nothing lasts forever, good or bad. Your life, it sounded like a dream to me, but I didn't understand. I'm sorry you lived such a life, and and now, as a dread god, I imagine it isn't much easier. Didn't mean for didn't mean for this to get heavy. You don't need to apologize for living a life free of those things. I'm glad you never had to endure the pangs of hunger. My life was survival for much of it, and when you survive, you don't have the luxury of reflecting on it. It's only now looking back I realize how difficult it was, but I am thankful to be able to discuss it over wine with someone as lovely as you. I swallowed down a lump that formed in my throat. Don't feel guilty. I can see it all over your face. Thank you for your concern, but I'm superb. My happiest days are upon me. Are you intending to retire? I've thought of it, but I wonder what I do with all that time. You can only sleep in so many times. I think it would drive me mad. Besides, I carry the dreadful air of the guard. I don't think ever be able to be in one place for too long. Chances, if I grow to love where I am, I'll be cast out. Best to just keep moving. Honk! I jump out of my skin unable to process, let alone respond. Scrambling away to the sharp-toothed beast approached, I found myself in Garrett's arms. You weren't kidding when you said you feared them. The goose honked again, feathers ruffling in threat, preparing for an attack. Maybe we should move. Not too fast. Garrett held me up slowly, and despite moving at a snail's pace, something in her movement provoked it. The bird lunged, and we ran away with a mixture of screams and laughter. I'll spare you the rest of that. Goose saved me. It was so sweet I was getting sick. Do you ever say anything positive? I just said it was sweet. Grapes, geese, gabbing, all that. So what else did we miss? Well, it occurred to us both that wherever I stayed, they'd most likely ask for payment outright, so I needed to get my grandmother's inheritance appraised. Garrett took us to the city that time. You both went shopping. Oh yes, how I missed those shops so much. She grips the sides of her face, enduring the newfound heartbreak. I don't miss the anti-fey measurements, though. That, that was one half of a journey I also wish to forget. The other... When we arrived in Southport, it was the most crowded place I've ever seen. Sparris is bigger than this. He told me, in a hushed voice, I could hardly believe such a thing even being possible. What do you think? Fascinating. Personally, these sorts of places I've never been all that fond of. City folk aren't anything like some of the ones we've met. Don't don't worry too much, though. He reassures me in an attempt to repair the damage he caused. Even so, I was still drawn to it all, even if it frightened me. His hand tangled in mine, though there was a high chance the girls could have seen. I chose not to care just then. It was far too warm. My trepidation whittled away with every stroke of his thumb against the top of my head, against the top of my hand. He released, and I took a deep breath. Oh, all right, girls. Here's some silver. Don't spend it all in one place. And remember, meet us back here in an hour. If we're not back, wait for us. Oh, and one last thing. This is the most important part. He approached the girls standing beside him, guiding them to follow to point his finger. See those little bits of iron outside the steps of some of the homes? It's cold iron. Means it's pure, never been melted. They nod, one eagerly though clearly confused, the other in a hurry to hurry the conversation along. Don't go anywhere near them. They're to ward off fairies. Unfortunately, some of the folk here view your kind as a sort of infestation. He cringed as he said the words, and as if they were filled with bristles that stung his tongue as he spoke. That seems to take a lot of wind out of both their sails. What would happen if... You're not going to find out. Just please, listen to what I say, okay? You'll be alright. The two looked at each other, having a silent conversation with their eyes, thankfully attempted to regain some of their fervor from before. Would you prefer we all go together? No, that's not necessary. We'll be careful. I know you will. And don't talk to strangers. I added on, attempting to lighten the mood a little. Needy blew a raspberry at me, and with it, the uneasiness from before dissolved. Right, we won't, Mother. After they retrieved the silver, they disappeared into the crowded strips soon after. Mother, does that make me? Don't say it. Neither of us wants that. True, those two are enough, and they're not even children. I nodded, pleased that he understood so easily. I'm sure his thoughts fill out my own. If you're nervous, it should only take a little time. I've gotten quite a few things appraised here. He then went to retrieve my bindle, and the one I packed before I left, which was once a heavy load, was now no more heavy than a couple of silver. There was a moment of silence as he sifted through it. It was odd he even decided to look through it in the first place. The moment turned into a minute. I watched as his face took on too many emotions. Is this all of it? It is. Is everything alright? Another minute. Okay, what's the deal? Why won't he say anything? Duck, I know your grandmother left this to you, and it means a lot. I nodded, not following, but understanding he was trying to prepare me for something, and you never need to be prepared for good news. But I'm afraid that this isn't worth anything. He might as well have taken out a dagger and driven it right into my chest. This was his attempt to spare my feelings. What do you mean it wasn't worth anything? That's not how inheritance works. Of course it is. My father said so as well. Put it here. His face softened, lowering his voice, and something about it reminded me of how my mother would attempt to talk to me out of something. I could feel my shoulders stiffen. My brow was no doubt furrowed. Please, I don't disagree with you, but it'll be an embarrassment to bring this in. It's what, some seeds, a thimble, an arrowhead, and what is this? I took my things back from him, looking back, far more aggressive than I should have. I can't stand him holding them under his scrutiny. It's a thorax. A part of a dried bug? That's what you think will be enough to pay for your apartment? There was a hint of laughter in his voice, but nothing was humorous. It felt like he was laughing at me, worse at fairies. Still, I tried to reason. Perhaps it wouldn't cover the entire cost in full, but it's a start. There's also some milk, an acorn. Look, even a geode. I held it up to show him, but he placed his hand over mine, now swirling my stomach instead of settling it. He pressed my hand down. Ducky, again, I truly don't want to argue with you, but there's been a mistake. We can't bring this to any shop. We'll have to figure out something else. He pinched the bridge of his nose, thinking of another solution. My grandmother wouldn't have lied to me. course, it's worth something. Any little bit helps. Little? This is minuscule. You'd be lucky if all of this was worth a single gold piece. My fist clenched at my sides, a bubbling of something threatening to spit from my throat. Felt like fire. So you won't even try? It's a waste of time. I'm trying to tell you. A waste of time? What I want is a waste? His voice took on a more stern quality now. Don't attempt to spin my words. I'm trying to save you from making a fool of yourself. Well, he wasn't the only one who could speak so dismissively. If you're right, why not prove it so? You can't convince me to waste some stranger's time either. Then the dam broke. I can't believe this! Point me in the direction of where it is, and I'll prove you wrong myself. No. It was the first time he raised his voice at me. I shrank back staring for a moment, watching him realize what he'd done, but the damage was dealt. Then don't. I'll find it myself. I don't need your help. Of course you do. Don't be stubborn. He attempted to soften his voice, but he couldn't get rid of the frustration. It's you who's unwilling. Then I stormed off, unsure of where to go, but that was favorable to this. I didn't want to get any more upset than I already was. I'll prove him wrong. So I asked strangers, a couple unsure, until eventually one gentleman was able to point me in a direction, and easier than I anticipated. I found a shop I was looking for. Ooh, okay, this is a fancy looking place. I felt like this background was used before, I just don't know where. I stepped inside, realizing I'd never been to a human shop before. There's so much along the walls. On the walls. Why, hello there. What can I help you with, missy? I blinked at him for a moment, then came to my senses, probably snapping on my days. Yes, I have something in need of appraisal. A few things. Let me take a look. Hesitantly, I set it all on the counter before him. The older gentleman dug through his shirt pocket, pulling out a little circular piece of glass. He put it over one eye, enlarging it. His eye was very blue, like ice. Looking through every piece, one at a time, silently humming and smacking his lips. I couldn't be sure what he was thinking. I realized then maybe he'd scold me too if it wasn't worth as much as I thought. I shook my head, trying to will away Garrett's words. A ding sound at the entrance. A tall man entered. I'll be waiting just a moment, sir. I'm just the exterminator you hired. My blood ran cold. Good, yes, you can begin spraying if you like, though maybe you'd start from the back first. Can do. Fate is cruel. It was the man from back in Willow Post, too. Then the shopkeeper turned his attention back to me. Now what's this? Looking around, I couldn't understand what he was referring to. Your neck, he said, pointing to his own. I brought my hand around my throat and felt the subject of his interest, my pendant. I've never seen an entire necklace made up of so much gold. It's all in your hair, too. Growing self-conscious, though, at least thankful he saw it as gold flakes other than pixie dust, I chuckled nervously. Are you some sort of princess from a foreign land? Looking back, he was making light of it. I hadn't gotten used to human humor yet. No? How'd you get a hold of half of this stuff? I've never seen anything like it. Well, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say I was a fairy, could I? My mind spiraled as I tried to find anything that could get me out of this predicament I found myself in. At some point, I thought my only real chance was to expose myself, but that too could be hard to convince, be with my size and all. No, I couldn't. The cold iron at the doors, my kind wasn't welcome here. Make up a lie, tell a half-truth. Oh. I have no clue what to do here, but I think I'm gonna leave this video here for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.